terms of what he. Jonah watumwa ku Nineveh namwari kuti ndikuda kuparadza vanhu. When he arrived in that city, their ways, the people changed their ways. The people changed their ways. The people changed their ways because of the message that Jonah was proclaiming. And it got to a point where the Lord developed some form of kindness. Chapter number 3, verse number 10.
And God saw their works, that they turned from their evil ways.
They turned from their evil ways. So this was an evil city. But when they heard Jonah's message, they turned from their evil ways. And what?
And God repented of the evil.
And God repented on the evil
that he had said that he would do unto them.
So now, when Jonah is proclaiming a message, he's not proclaiming a message that is coming from his heart or his mind. He's proclaiming a message that has come from God. And now the people have changed. And the Lord didn't go to Jonah and say, Jonah, go back and tell the people that I will not destroy them. God began to be kind to the people. This is verse number 10. And now we go back to chapter number 4, verse number 2. The Lord found it not necessary to go back to Jonah. But when he saw that these people had repented from their evil ways, he made sure kuti vanava vakuitirwa zvakanaka naMwari. Jonah ndokuzviona. Ukanotarisa paakavaka kamba kake, zvinonzi wakavaka akatarisa kuguta achida kuona zvaizoitwa naMwari. But ndiye aparidza, vanhu vakatendeuka. But maari karimo kekuti kunyangwe ndashumira kana murimi mazvitaura ngazviitike.
Verse 5. So Jonah went out the city and sat on the east side of the city, and there made he a booth and sat under it in the shadow, till he might see what would become of the city.
He was expectant of the wrath of the Lord unto the evil city. But let's go back to verse number 2.
And he prayed unto the Lord and said, I pray thee, O Lord, wast not this my saying when I was yet in my country? Therefore I fled before unto Tarshish. For I knew that thou art a gracious God.
Thou art, number 1, gracious.
And merciful.
Number 2, merciful.
Slow to anger.
Slow to anger.
And great of kindness.
Great of kindness.
And repentest thee of the evil.
Jonah had an understanding of God in a way that he knew that him going to that city with God's message, if the people repented, then the Lord would turn from the wrath that was to come. Because he loves the people, he's gracious, he's merciful. So God is comparing the plant and the population of the city. And he's saying, you were affected by one plant, but I have 120,000, and you expect me to continue with the wrath. What kind of a person are you? What kind of a person are you? But one of the important things that I want you to get here is, number 1, Jonah has an understanding of God. That's why even from the beginning, he was not willing to go to that city. But also Jonah has a problem with his character. Because even after preaching, he still wants the people to be destroyed. Even after proclaiming, he still wants the people to be destroyed. He's worried about one plant, but God is worried about the 120,000. And God finds it necessary to spare the lives of 120,000 because he's the one who created. And he labored and made sure that these people are there. And these people repented from the king downwards to the last citizen. Now, if you proceed, wouldn't it have been fair for the Lord to go back to Jonah and say, Jonah, I am not going to kill these people anymore? But God found that unnecessary. because he is God. Jonah, you are just an instrument. You are just creation. You were not there when I laid the foundations of the earth. Jonah, you are man. You are my prophet. And it's important that you understand this, that I don't operate according to your temperature. I operate according to my love. Are you hearing me? And Jonah has to realize that even by the Lord not going back to tell him, it was supposed to be a lesson to him. But I need you to understand that God is God. He's a sovereign God. He makes any decision that he wants to make, anytime, anywhere. So you must have that understanding of God in terms of what he chooses to do. Now, by not telling Jonah, it was a lesson for Jonah. Even though I've used you, don't let it get to your head that you operate beyond my operating platform. Because if you think I will then operate according to your temperature because you are angry with these people, my friend, you'll get it wrong. I love these people. So what caused God to change his mind was the mercy, the love, the graciousness that Jonah is talking about. Are we in agreement? Ndo zvakakonzera kuti Mwari vachinje zvavanga vachida kuita. But havana kunzwa kuda kunopa announcement. Kunani? Kuna Jonah. So the fact that he has given you a message does not give you the right for another message of cancellation. Because God loves his people. So when God gives you a message, Jonah, you must know how to present it, lest you assume that you have got a part to play in the message and yet you are only a mouthpiece. You're only a mouthpiece. So in being a mouthpiece, you have to understand that God remains God. Unofanira kuziva kuti Mwari vanoramba vari Mwari. He can choose to follow through or he can choose to change. Why? Because he loves. Mwari ndi Mwari. Hatina patinovakonesa chero vakatipa shoko rechokwadi nezuro. So before you start saying people are false, be very careful. Before you start uttering silly words, empty words, you must be very careful. Because people could have gone to Jonah and told him, you are a liar. And yet Jonah had heard from God. Vanhu vanoungana voita matare, voita mapodcast. Vachitsoropodza Jonah anzwa kuna Mwari. But pane chiyero chekunzwawo Mwari wacho. Chinokuudza kuti chero shoko raJona risina kuzoitika, Jonah aitaura chokwadi anga anzwa kuna Mwari. That's a level in the things of the spirit, where you can listen to a man and you can hear the voice of God through a man. And the fact that it hasn't happened the way that the man proclaimed doesn't disqualify Jonah from hearing God. Because even after, God goes back to Jonah and Jonah is talking to God. But the world cannot interpret the things of the spirit. They will undermine Jonah in that heart. Lifestyle. But Jonah wacho anoda rubatsiro kuti anzwisise kuti Mwari ndi Mwari. You don't have to explain to people. If you heard, you heard, and you keep quiet. Because mukuda kutsanangura chaita futi ma mistakes. Those without chengetedza integrity yako, yanga isira announcement yako, yanga iri ya Mwari. And the Lord found it not necessary to go back to him, even though the Lord knew that the people would think that he's a liar. But the outcome was good for the Lord. Why? Because the Lord loved these people, even though they were walking in evil. So there are people right now that were supposed to miss rapture. But remember, they are the creation of the Father. They are loved by the Father. He is a gracious and merciful God. And he's a sovereign God. He can tell you one thing and do the other because he loves. So in trying to explain yourself, sometimes you move out of alignment with the voice of Abba, with the will of Abba.